What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
It's pie noon.
Pie noon. It's that
noon.
pie making season.
It's pie season, everybody.
Yeah, you got off after this to make some pies.
Oh yeah, you know it.
What kind of pie again?
It is a chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
God, that sounds good.
It is. It's
That
really
sounds
good.
so good.
It's funny because it calls for just 3 tablespoons of bourbon, but it tastes like a full 30 shots of bourbon. I don't know why.
Is it really?
Yeah. It just, for whatever reason, the bourbon comes out really strong in it, and every year I've scaled it back a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it does not appear to affect how much bourbon you actually taste.
Interesting.
And it's like, so I could add 5 cups of bourbon.
I could add way more
I
bourbon.
could add way more, and it would still taste the same.
That's really funny because, like, one time I was working at an event, and they had it was actually the Sheraton downtown here in Austin, and for the event they had a lunch for all the employees and everything. They would provide lunch provided by the hotel, and one of the desserts was like a bourbon pie like that too, a bourbon pecan pie. So delicious, but it was the same thing. You could taste that bourbon real strong, and I'm pretty sure not all the alcohol was cooked out.
Yeah, you think it cooks out, but I guess because of all the corn syrup, I really don't think it does.
Just like soaks
yeah,
in
I think
and
it just
becomes
takes
part of the
it
pie.
in.
It's alcohol now.
It's alcohol now. But in case you did not know,
This is Team Chat Podcast, a weekly video game show where we talk not about pie, but video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. But this could really very easily transition into a podcast about pies.
let's call
the
it
same
Team
format.
Chat Piecast.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god!
We're switching. We're
This is a new
scrapping
show,
this video
everybody.
game nonsense, and we're going to talk about pies.
This week's episode, we're talking about the noble chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
I would rate that a 5 out of 6 on deliciousness scale. I don't know what we would do for all that,
man.
but. New episodes come out each and every week on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central Time. And you can listen to those on podcast services around the World Wide Web, as well as watch each episode on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to join a bigger part of the Team Chat community, you can do that by finding us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and joining our Discord server. Links for all that are in the description of the episode below. Also, all of our episodes are funded by our patrons and our listeners. So if you really love what we're creating for you each and every week for free, you can go over to patreon.com/teenchatpodcast and throw us a couple dollars. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show, and in return, we'll give you a cool perk like getting the episode early before its General Tuesday release and access to a private patrons-only channel on our Discord server, The Rogues Gallery. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. But now that we've got through all that introduction spiel, it's time to get to some news and find out what games are coming out soon and any other upcoming releases or news from the gaming industry at large.
I actually didn't prepare any news. Instead, I'm just going to read the recipe for the chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
That sounds excellent, as we've now transitioned
So
into
yeah,
a pie
now that this is a
podcast.
it's a new world out there, everybody. But in real talk.
Sure.
Getting down and dirty with what's actually coming out. Battlefield 5 is officially coming out on November 20th. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It did get delayed from its initial release date of October 19th, but it is coming out this air date, November 20th. Additionally, we have Wreckfest, spelled like WRECK Fest. Wreckfest for PS4 and Xbox One, November 20th as well.
So I'm assuming it's like a vehicle demolition.
Maybe. It might be about Wreck-It Ralph. You just never can tell. Warframe is coming out for the Switch on November 20th as well. And then a little bit further down the line this month, we have Darksiders 3 on November 27th. That is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Very nice. So we were talking before we got started on this recording that you were thinking that Battlefield 5 is probably going to be a fairly soft launch, or maybe not a soft launch, but like not have the
I think it's
release that they're expecting.
Be as well received as projections might have projected. That was so redundant, but you get the idea. Just because I think it has been such a competitive fall and winter season. I mean, so many massive games have come out really kind of all in the same crunch time, even with their delayed release of about a month, which I think they did primarily do for marketing reasons, which is a good idea.
When was the initial release date?
October 19th. So they delayed it 1 month.
That was 1 month because it was Battlefield. I mean, Black Ops 4 came out on October 12th, and Red Dead was October 26th or 27th.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it would
that
have
makes
been
sense.
just eaten alive. Even so, I still think most gamers aren't finished with all of the big games that came out in a very short amount of time. Assassin's Creed. What's that other one that people like? God of War, even. I mean, people are still playing that. Red Dead, of course. Super Mario Party, if you're like me.
Man,
so
I tell
I
you
just
what.
think there's so much competition. Black Ops, of course. Black Ops just came out. I think there's so much competition. It's just not not going to have near the impact that the developers are probably hoping.
Yeah, I agree. And I really do think that, I mean, you're right about people not having time. I've barely still been able to really touch Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like I've done those first few hours that I did for the first impression and everything, and I haven't really been able to get back to it. It's killing me.
Can I borrow it then?
No, I gotta play this first. I really want to play it.
Fine.
But no, it's
not
just
like I have time. I have to make good on that Persona 5 promise.
That's true. You got your hands full.
Game. I gotta get on it.
Yeah, but no. So yeah, there's a lot of big stuff. But I'll be interested to see because it's got its own battle royale mode too. So it's entering that fray as well. So we'll see what really becomes of it. But I kind of tend to agree. The beta wasn't all that well received. Remember, I played the beta and I was like, this is not really doing anything for me. I'm not the biggest Battlefield fan in general anyway. I'll go ahead and say that. But still, I just haven't heard as much about it as you would have hoped, I feel like, to have heard about it at this point.
I mean, I know it's obviously not going to happen at this point, but I feel like considering how little is actually going to be coming out that's a big name game in Q1 of 2019, I honestly think they should have delayed to 2019 just because they would have so much less competition. It would be post-holiday season. People might still be buying games that they've already burned through during the Christmas and holiday season. I think it might have been a better move, but we'll see. I could be totally wrong. Battlefield 5 could launch and be the game of the year. Who knows? I don't think that's going to happen, but it could happen.
Right. I do want to try to find somewhere because I did see something else also that I was like, and I understand that like people, yeah, that one's probably in there. This jacket holds hair like crazy. Okay, so yeah, here's the other thing about it. Why I think it won't do that well because Engadget came out and released an article. This was a bit older bit of news here. Didn't realize we jump on such a Battlefield tangent, but still, here we are. October 24th, this is an Engadget article. Battlefield 5 won't have Battle Royale until spring 2019.
They should have just delayed it then.
Right? That was my thought.
Yeah, wait for it to come out and be a complete package.
It was on another Discord, actually, of like an Austin Gamers Discord, and somebody posted that, and I responded, and I was just like, I don't understand like why games are being released. These like big AAA title games are being released when their whole everything about them is not yet done. And when somebody responded like, well, Fortnite didn't launch with a Battle Royale. I'm like, well, I know, but technically that game's still in beta.
Yeah. It's different. It's obviously not. I think they're just going to keep it that way for forever.
Right. But I mean, that like, what's up with, I mean, and even, I mean, we're talking about Battlefield 5 right now, but I'm even talking about like games like God of War and everything didn't get, like photo mode is becoming such a big deal. Why are games not launching with photo mode? God of War did not launch with photo mode. It came in an update later. And also games aren't launching with New Game Plus. Which, if that's going to be an option, why? And granted, I don't understand the development process that has to take place behind the scenes to make that work. So I'm not trying to say like stupid developers, why aren't you doing this? But still, it's like, why do all these features keep coming out? Like, it's like here's the it's all basically game launches are becoming more soft launches.
And I feel like that might actually be more of a marketing bent. I could be wrong. It could just be that they're on such a tight timeline that they literally don't have time. But I feel like that sounds like the kind of thing marketing might be behind.
Right.
And it's like, bruh, stop.
We just want the game.
Just give us the game.
In its entirety
just
when
stop.
It comes out.
But yeah, if you're going to do a delayed release, at least make it like episodic gaming.
Right.
At least make it pretend to make sense.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my thoughts on that.
Very good thoughts on that. But we're going to move on to another big news story that actually broke today, the day of this recording. It's a confusing news story, but has a lot of promise also, potentially. I think it's a good thing. But here's the news. So this is, as of today, which today is the 15th of November when we're recording this, but it was literally a couple of hours ago announced that Sony is not going to attend E3 2019. Which is crazy.
That's
the first
crazy.
time in the 24 years of the conference that Sony has not taken part. So, but this seems to be different from like what, EA has their EA Play event, and even Microsoft, I believe, has done something separate, kind of separate from the main E3, but they're still like at the same weekend, basically, or week.
Didn't Sony also cancel their own expo this year?
They did, PSX. Yeah. They announced a couple months ago that they weren't going to have a PSX this year. So, and their reasoning then was because they said Sean Layden came out and said that they didn't have enough new stuff to warrant a full conference. And it was just going to be a lot of probably repeating the same things that you'd already heard.
Which makes perfect sense.
Perfect
totally
sense.
on board
I
with
totally
that
understand
idea.
that.
Yeah.
So, but here's the question then. Is that the reason for pulling out of E3? Or is it going to be something bigger? So we do have a quick little article that I'll just peruse through real quick just to give a little bit more background, although that's really the amount of background that there can be at this point. But this is Game Informer. Sony Interactive Entertainment is not attending E3 in 2019 by Imran Khan. Quote, the history of the Electronic Entertainment Expo is as long as it is circuitous. The annual event has traditionally brought the entire gaming industry, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip through all this stuff. Okay, so here's the release from Sony. Quote, as the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community, the company told Game Informer in a statement. Quote, PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. Now, obviously the games news at World just went crazy, and everybody's been wondering, what does this mean? What does this mean? Jason Schreier of Kotaku, he sent out a tweet, which I'm pulling up right now real quick. If it'll load. There it is. Sony will skip E3 this year, a massive blow to the trade show, and yet another sign that, as I've heard from pretty much every developer I've asked about this, the PS5 is planned for 2020. So,
I mean, it sounds like to me,
think?
I think that they're going to do their own expo. I think they're going to do PSX in 2019, and I think that's going to be their primary way to launch the PS5 and whatever else they're going to be launching with it. I am, at this point, but fairly confident in saying that I think The Last of Us 2 is going to be one of those bridge games.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to use it at launch for the PS5 as a bridge into the new part of that franchise.
I think so too. And that was my big takeaway from this too. I've actually tried to not really go. Jason Schreier was pretty much the only person I've looked at because I just saw his reaction underneath the main news reaction, but I've tried not to read around too much because I don't want to have my opinion of it influenced by what others think basically. But that's kind of I'm on board. I'm on line with what you're thinking there because yes, I think they have an incredible lineup, but all these games that we've been wondering about since E3 of this year, Last of Us Part 2, The Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding. We have seen a lot of, but we have heard jack all about when it's actually going to come out.
Yeah.
I think, and especially with Days Gone now being pushed from February to April release date of 2019, I think that's a pretty solid, and if what Jason Schreier is saying is true, that PS5 is slated for 2020, yeah, we're not getting Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, or Death Stranding until 2020 at least, because they're going to be PS5 launch games. Not all three of them be launch titles, but they're going to come out very quickly. And yes, like what you're saying, they're going to be bridge games that are still, because that's what they've always said, especially about Death Stranding. I remember them saying, coming out and saying that it's going to be on the PS4, and everybody's like, oh, cool. But I mean, it can still be on the PS4 and the PS5.
Yeah. Fun fact: one of the very few games that I think would be fascinating in VR is Death Stranding.
Wait, I thought you hated VR.
I do. I just think that it's a weird enough game that, sure, why not? Why not just add that extra layer?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's
layer of crazy town onto it.
Well, I mean, so I got to say, if I have to wait till 2020, which we're probably then still looking at fall 2020. I mean, today is actually also, the PS4's birthday, 5-year birthday.
Oh,
so
it's old.
We're looking at potentially the same release window for the PS5 in 2020 because they'll want to capitalize on that just before holidays. So that's kind of a bummer if it means that because if I know the PS5 is coming and The Last of Us Part 2 is releasing in April where PS5 is slated for later that year, that's going to be I'm obviously going to have to buy it for the PS4 because I need to play it as soon as it comes out. But damn, that's going to hurt when I have to turn around and buy it again for the PS5.
Yeah. Wait, what makes you think it's coming out in April?
I don't think.
I'm
just saying I don't think they would either.
No, they wouldn't.
But there's no way that they're going to hold all three. Honestly, here's how I think it is. I think Last of Us Part 2 will be launch title. Then I think Ghost of Tsushima. And then I think Death Stranding, because Kojima's going to need all the time in the world to wrap that game up and make it.
You know what I'm saying?
2025. Who knows? 2030 at this point, really.
Sounds more reasonable.
But no. So it leads for a lot of speculation. Obviously, though, I want to know when that's going to happen, and I want to know soon because I would love. That'd be so cool to go to and say that you got I know they've had PSXs, but that'd be cool to say I'm going to to Sony's like first thing if they open it up for general
I'm
public.
guessing they would probably hold it in like LA. Almost
I'd
certainly. Yeah.
I'd still go. I wanted to go to PSX this year. I wanted to go last year.
Was it going to be in LA?
They've normally had it in Anaheim,
that's
yeah.
what I figured.
So we'll see how this goes.
Bunch
But
of
still,
West Coast jerk-offs.
it's interesting to see how this will go and how this will unfold. And hopefully, Sony won't keep us in the dark about what their plans for their holding their own press conference are going to be. The one other big thing that I have seen a couple other names say is just that it's got to be huge. It's got to be huge for whatever they're going to unveil.
And who knows? Maybe they canceled PSX this year and E3 of next year, not actually because just they wanted to do their own expo, but also to save money to do their own expo.
I don't think that, because I'm pretty sure, at this point, Sony's riding pretty high and got quite a bit of money in the coffers because of how well the PS4 is
You
done.
don't know that. You don't know how much debt they've got.
Yeah, I don't know how much debt they got, but I know they're doing well.
You
Because
don't know
PS4
how much
is
their
doing
CEOs
real well.
charge on the company credit cards.
So we'll wait and see. And obviously, as we hear news, we'll update you in these episodes. But let us know, too, what you think about Sony's potential conference plans for 2019. And we wait with bated breath to find out the fallout of all this. To get to the main topic of today's episode, and this is the Game Awards 2018. Just recently announced the nominees for this year, and we are here to pick our choices.
I don't know your password.
Gotta give them a password.
I'm going to look at it.
Just stare at Cassandra.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Look at that beautiful lady.
She really is. Just a goddess among women. All right. So we're going to start from the lower end on the totem pole and then work up to the Game of the Year nominees and giving our choices here.
And we're probably going to skip a few sections just the ones that we don't know that much about.
Like esport players. We normally just don't.
Actually, I do want to talk about that one real quick.
Oh, okay, because I'm imagining I'm assuming because this year saw the launch of the Overwatch League, there's actually probably some players from Overwatch League, so it might be more applicable this year. But so the first one that we're going to start off with here, we're just going to give our pick of who we think is going to win and why. So we've got content creator of the year. Nominees are Dr. Lupo, Myth, Ninja, Pokemani?
It's Pokemane?
Pokemane.
I actually don't know if that's true, but that's how it's spelled.
Pokimane. And then Willy Rex.
So of these, I think that Ninja's probably going to get it. I don't know the other. I don't know Myth, Pokemane, or Willy Rex. I at least know Dr. Lupo by name.
Yeah.
I think Ninja's going to get it because didn't he hit a milestone this past year of being the most...
he's the most successful.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's probably going to get it.
I think for that reason he would get it. I would love to see Dr. Lupo, though. I like watching Ninja. I watch Ninja every once in a while, but of the two of them, I love Dr. Lupo.
I've never actually watched any of these people.
I haven't watched Myth, Pokemane, or Willy Rex.
If Pokemane doesn't exclusively play the Pokemon games, I would feel very betrayed.
You would think that's what's happening.
You would think. We might be wrong.
But no. So I personally would love to... I still will. I'll vote for Dr. Lupo because this is one that that people get to vote for.
I wonder what Myth does.
I'm assuming
I wish
content.
that at least for the content creator section or any of them that deal with a person, I wish it would give you a brief bio about them.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice.
Really helpful.
Game Awards, fix it for next year.
All right. Anyways, scrolling up to the next category, we have we're skipping best esports moment because I don't really know any of them well enough to talk about them. We're also going to skip best esports host. Quick shout out to Golden Boy for being from the Overwatch League. What's ironic is that of all of the casters from Overwatch League, I actually don't really think Golden Boy is the best one. Even a little. I like him, I just don't think that he's the one that I would have voted for. So the rest of these people, I regrettably just don't recognize.
Yeah, I don't either, actually. I thought I would know a couple of these names just because I know, Courage, he does a lot of stuff for Call of Duty, which I've watched, and he's done Overwatch, and I believe he does Fortnite also with Dr. Lupo, so I'm kind of surprised that neither of them were on here.
There were a couple of casters from EVO 2018 this past year that did a lot of the Tekken casting.
Yeah.
Reno and MYK, they were phenomenal. Just listening to them cast those shows made it for me.
Really?
And I'm really bummed. They may or may not be that big of names in the overall esports scene, but I thought they were phenomenal.
That is
I wish
cool,
that
though.
at least one of them had made the list.
I will say it is cool, though, that there is a category for esports host.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't on here last year.
It's like being the weather reporter, but for esports.
Yeah. Okay,
all right,
so...
and then we're going to skip best esports event. Who cares?
Because obviously for us, of all these two, it's Overwatch League.
And I also watched all of EVO 2018.
Oh, you did?
I would have voted for EVO just because I think it's more fun. I love fighting games.
Oh, that's true. All right, so you can do this one.
Yeah. We're gonna skip that one. Esports coaches.
Coach. Just don't know.
Esports team. So the nominees are Astralis for Counter-Strike Go, Cloud9 for League of Legends, Fnatic for League of Legends, the London Spitfire
Hell yeah.
for the Overwatch
They got my vote.
League, and OG for Dota 2. So I only bring this one up because London Spitfire,
They won.
I know they won, but I don't care. For team and team spirit, I gotta go with the LA Valiant. What the hell
That's
is
just you
this?
playing favorites, though.
What the hell is this?
I mean, champions are champions for a reason.
Boo. Boo, London Spitfire. Okay, this one I do want to mention real quick. So, best esports player.
Okay.
So, the nominees are Dominic Sonic Fox McLean, Hajime Tokido Taniguchi, John Uzi Shizhao. I really hope I said that right. My apologies if I did not. Alexander Simple Kostalev.
I want the names of Alexander.
And Songwon? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I think it's Songwon Bang Jonak. So the only
York
one,
Excelsior.
so Sonic Fox is actually really cool. He won, I think it was Dragon Ball Fighters? He won
that sounds
one
right.
of the categories at EVO, and immediately after he won, he like tweeted out or shouted or something. He was like, "I won EVO, I'm gay," and I was like, "Good for you,
That's
man!"
awesome.
I just think he's really cool as a person. But I was really happy to see Jonak on there because he's the one that I've seen the most gameplay from, and he's amazing.
Really?
He's really good.
The ones I remember from Overwatch League, which now there's so many new teams they've been announcing lately,
Yeah.
so many more players that we're going to have to learn, but I remember like Pine was a big one I remember
So
being on there.
Jonak is really fun as well because he does primarily play the support class. So it's really nice to see him on here because even though he plays support, you can see him on Zenyatta just racking up the kills.
Zenyatta's
He's
a pretty
insane.
solid support character, though.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
really
playing
fun.
Zenyatta.
So, best esports game. We have Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Overwatch.
I think it's going to be between Fortnite and Overwatch still.
Yeah, I think, well, League of Legends, though, people do really...
They do really love, but all of these, League of Legends, Dota 2, and CSGO, have been around for so long.
Yeah, CSGO is like the old grandpa of the scene.
It really is. And this year especially, Fortnite has really been pushing its esports game. Overwatch is, continually pushing it more with it.
This was the inaugural year. It feels like such a long year, but Overwatch League was this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's when they first launched.
We're
and
still
I
in the
will
waiting
say,
season for Season 2.
I loved it, and I just recently caught up on the Overwatch World Championships. I'm actually not sure if they've wrapped up quite yet at the time of this air date. I just watched the semi-final match between the UK and South Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know who actually made it to the grand finals. In
We'll have to
progress
see.
for me. It may not actually be. All right, you want to do the next one? Anyways, my
so-
vote would be for Overwatch.
I'm going to go with Fortnite on this one, too.
I think Fortnite is going to win it.
I think so,
I
too.
would vote for Overwatch.
Yeah, I think Fortnite's going to win, and that's who I'm going to give because I've just been watching more of that lately. Like I watched the Overwatch League when it was on, and it was fun, and it's fun. I feel like I slightly more understand what's going on in the Fortnite stuff when I watch it.
Oh, God, really?
It was somewhat. I mean, I still get lost when I see them build skyscrapers in 2 seconds, and I'm like, how did you do that? But honestly, I don't know. Overwatch sometimes I like it and I watch it, but for me, for some reason, I like the plays. I don't know. I kind of like watching Fortnite better than Overwatch.
Okay,
The two.
fair enough.
Next up, we have Best Debut Indie Game. We have Donut County from Ben Esposito and Annapurna Interactive, Florence from Mountains, Moss by Polyart Games, The Messenger from Sabotage Studio, Yoku's Island Express from Villa Gorilla.
Of these, the only game that I am super exposed to is Donut County.
Right.
And it's adorable. Maybe adorable isn't the right word. It is very comedic. The writing is really funny. The gameplay is very simple, as a lot of indie games are, but it looks really engaging. I've watched a couple of playthroughs of it, and it's really funny. I like Donut County a lot.
I think I might go with Donut County too on this one also. I think The Messenger is probably going to be the secondary runner-up. It did really well. I remember when its reviews coming out that a lot of people said that it has kind of a slow start, but once you get into the game, it really starts to shine.
Yeah.
So I think that it could be a contender. Moss, I've heard a lot of great things about too.
So cute.
Moss is so cute. That one would be cool though because
it's VR.
It's
isn't
VR.
It? Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool. If
We
the VR
haven't
game
gotten
win.
to it yet, but it is in another category. Quick spoiler
cool.
alert. So scrolling on up.
In this, Mogan's looked at these. I actually haven't yet. So you're getting my genuine reactions here. Best student game. Ooh, that's cool.
You want to do that one?
I just want to look at it.
I don't know any of these.
I don't know any of them either, but it's still cool that their work is getting recognized. So we got Combat 2018 from Inland Norway University of Applied Sciences.
Norway.
Dash Quasar from
Quasar.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
UC Santa Cruz.
Boo, California.
You just don't like Californians. Jerrett DigiPen Bilbao, Spain.
Yeah, Bilbao. Actually, yay, Bilbao.
Liff. Or Liff?
Maybe it's Life.
That's
my guess, but
a play on that
the
on the
image
word.
looks really cool.
iSart Digital, France, and then Recharge from MIT. Ooh, MIT.
I refuse to vote for MIT.
MIT's got a lot of money.
Even though I know nothing about any of these games, I'm going to vote for either Norway or Bilbao, Spain.
I'm going to go with Liff on this one, or Life from France.
We're not sure. Francia. So, best multiplayer game. So, I know that we'll probably at least have a lot of thoughts about this one. The nominees are Black Ops 4, Destiny 2, Forsaken, Fortnite, of course, Monster Hunter World. I was surprised to see actually made the list. And
that's not surprising to me.
I mean, I was a little surprised, I'm not going to lie, but I think it deserves to be there.
Yeah, I mean, for how much that one took over online multiplayer for, and it still does. I mean, you just played it. You just played it on our extra live stream.
I just finished, exactly.
But so I feel like that one makes sense. Do I think it's going to win? No.
I don't think it's going to win, but I will say that I think it has the most interesting bent of all of the other games on this list. Is Monster Hunter is doing multiplayer gaming online just from a different perspective of what all of the other ones are, especially from your classic multiplayers like Black Ops. It's a different kind of game. It's just different, and I think that that's something that has a lot of value, at least to me. Like from a gamer perspective, whatever is different that still fits into the mold of being multiplayer, I think that that's really fun.
So my thoughts on this one, I think Fortnite will win.
Oh, I think it will too.
Because I'm pretty sure if I could be wrong, and as I talk, I'm going to try to fact check myself on this.
While you do
but
that,
I'm pretty sure Fortnite was not nominated for anything yet as of last year at last year's Game Awards.
And this year,
I'm sure it did. Well, no, it did. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. I remember. It was PUBG last year that was. And everybody's like, it's not in early. It's in early. They're all like, it's in early access. How does this count? But yeah, that's right. And then now Fortnite's really hit its stride since then. So no, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a great game. I think it's had its bumps and issues as it's been rolled out and more people have started playing it and playing especially the blackout mode and the multiplayer. I still really enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it. I think it's too new to unseat Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised to see it on the list because it's so new.
Right.
Destiny I'm
2
sure
Forsaken.
Just for timing they had to, but still.
Right. And Destiny 2 Forsaken, trash tier. Bottom of the barrel.
Tier. All right, we are going to. Do you want to do?
We'll just read it. Sports racing games: FIFA 19, Forza Horizon, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA 2K19, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. It's gonna be. Honestly, I would love to see Forza Horizon.
Yeah, I think that of these, if I had to put my money on one of them, I'd say Forza. Maybe Mario Tennis Aces. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think that one because I don't think it had as good of a reception as people wanted it to.
Well, did Forza?
It's in the Forza community.
Well, you could say the same thing for the Mario Tennis community.
That's true, too. It'll probably, though, go to either FIFA 19 or NBA 2K19.
Yeah, probably so. Best strategy game. We've got The Banner Saga 3, Battletech, Frostpunk, Into the Breach, and Valkyria Chronicles 4. I don't know anything about these.
I don't either. See, I was thinking to myself earlier today, actually, because I was looking back at my list of games that I've finished and played this year. And I was like, man, I feel like I've done really well this year. I'm going to probably have some more to say on some of these things. No. There's still some categories I completely miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's not our fault. Not everything that we play makes it into a category.
I know.
And some of what we play that's new to us isn't actually new.
Isn't actually that new. And, we don't have developers sending us freebies.
Yeah.
But I would love to see, though, Banner Saga 3, just because I'm familiar. That's the one I'm most familiar with, and I love its sound, its music.
I will
Austin
say that
Wintory does a great job.
I won't vote for Frostpunk just because I hate the naming strategy of putting punk at the end of anything. It's so overdone.
So you're going to boycott Cyberpunk 2077 then?
Yes, I am.
Bold claim.
It's stupid.
Whatever. I know you'll be right there with me. Release day, be like, come on, let's play.
All right. Anyways, best family game.
Oh, I already know my choice.
Yeah, I know your choice too. You want to read them?
All right. Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink, Battle for Atlas, and Super Mario Party. It's obviously going to Overcooked 2.
You know what? I actually think I agree with you on that. And there's 2 games on here that I really like. There's 1 game on here that I really like, Mario Party. But because you can't play online with your own freaking family if you live long distance from them, that's a negative 5,000 points for Mario Party. But Overcooked 2...
And Starlink Battle for Atlas, I feel like people are like, what is this?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Like, I remember seeing it at E3, I think, and I was like, what in
And they even have, like, Star Fox in it. But still, it's like, I still feel like everybody's like...
confusing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Labo gets it, though, just for pure innovation.
I will say...
the Labo at least has a fantastically unusual premise.
It really does.
It's a really just interesting, innovative idea, and I think that Nintendo does that well. So I would like to see the Labo potentially win, but I also think that Overcooked 2 should probably get it.
I think so, too. The Labo is one... I agree with you. I do think it's going to be the top contender, one of the top contenders for that prize. Although, it's one of those things I feel like is going to have a slow burn. Yeah. Where it's like, it came out and everybody's
did you say that
like...
on purpose?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Oh, wait, for a minute I thought you said Overcooked 2.
Oh, no.
Okay.
If I did,
like,
I meant Labo.
Burn.
I meant the Labo. But yeah, that would have been a great wordplay.
Can you just rework what you were going to say so I can make the joke anyway?
I can't think of it now.
Can we retcon that joke?
A slow fold? Maybe because you have to construct the Labo stuff. I don't know. I got nothing. But the Labo I think is going to have more of like a slow burn of an impact because it came out. Everybody's like, this is awesome because you can build all these different things and have the Switch control it all. That's really cool. But I also don't feel like it got picked up a lot by a lot of people. It's being the implications of it
because we don't have kids though.
That's true.
I mean, Fender doesn't have thumbs.
That's true.
He can't use the Labo.
Biggest complaint that he tells me is, Dad, I'm so sad I don't have thumbs. I say, son, I'm right there with you. But I mean, I got thumbs, but I'm sad for you that you don't have them. But anyway, so I feel like it's one of the things. As more time goes on, more innovations and more things around Labo will be built out, and will have a bigger impact later.
I'm sure that at least in 2019, they will almost certainly release new packs for the Labo. So I think it can really only get more fun, so good on them. Best fighting game, we have Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. It's going to be Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
I would agree with that.
Like, I am 110% positive it's going to be DBZ.
Which, Soul Calibur 6, I know a lot of people were excited and looking forward to, but I've heard nothing really about it. I will say, though, it does have an awesome character creator. Have you seen all this stuff?
Yeah, actually, I have seen.
Oh my God.
What a strange thing for them to have a weirdly good factor
I gotta
of.
find this picture because I literally just saw it today.
Was it the person who made a really good Chun-Li?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody made Donkey Kong in Soul Calibur 6.
Oh my God, what?
His sword is like a giant... is a giant bundle of bananas, and it's amazing.
That's amazing.
Please tell me I can find... I'm going to have to find it. Nope, there it is.
Wow.
I'll put this in the video version.
That is fascinating.
Isn't it? It's so cool.
That's really funny.
So, I don't know. Maybe on that, we'll raise Soul Calibur above Dragon Ball Fighters.
I strongly doubt it, but I think that the character creation looks hysterical.
It's a pretty fun little thing to throw in. So... let's do role-playing games. So we have next Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Almost said 9. I know how to read Roman numerals. It's cool, everybody. Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Octopath Traveler, obviously Mogan's pick, and Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. I think Octopath. Octopath for sure.
It's just a quick spoiler. It's on here at least twice, and I think that this is the category it can and should win.
Yeah.
Having played at least a couple of the games on this list, Octopath is just both old and new in all the best ways, and it's an outstanding JRPG.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Like I said when we talked about it, I enjoyed it. And I don't even like JRPGs.
Yeah. It's amazing, everybody. If you're sleeping on Octopath Traveler, for the love of God, wake up, sheeple. Play the best game out there.
All right, moving on. We have Best Action Adventure Game. These next categories, this is where it's getting stacked.
And this is where I think a lot of the games that you have played will start showing up again and again and again and again.
So we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So for this one...
So this is Best Action Adventure Game.
Right. And this is tough. Now, I will say, of this list, the only one I've completed so far is God of War. And I think it's going to come. And honestly, though, saying that, I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I honestly think it's going to come between Red Dead and God of War.
I think it is too. I'm actually very shocked to see that Shadow of the Tomb Raider even made the list.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I'm really surprised by that.
Because, I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, again, like another thing I've been saying, like I have not been able to spend as much time in this game as I want to. It's fantastic what I've played. Honestly, though, and this is the thing, comparing what I've played to Red Dead 2 and what I've played of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, even though I've played at this point really so little of either games, which I apologize, everyone. It's just life has been crazy right now.
Get on it, bro.
But honestly, though, I would pick Assassin's Creed Odyssey over Red Dead 2 right now. I've had in this time that I've spent in Odyssey, I gotta say, I've had more fun. So
Burn!
So of that, I think for me, it would come down to having to choose between Assassin's Creed Odyssey and God of War. I finished God of War, so that's where my vote would go in this instance. But I still do think it's going to be between God of War and Red Dead 2, and probably Red Dead 2 that takes it.
Really? You think Red Dead 2 is going to take it? I kind of think God of War might get it.
I think Red Dead 2 is going to be the Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Red Dead 2 is just going to sweep whatever it's in.
I gotcha. So then in a very similar category, we have Best Action Game. We have Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells. Dead Cells made the list. Good
Very
for
nice.
you, Dead Cells.
Awesome soundtrack if you haven't listened to that one yet.
I haven't gotten to listen
Oh, it's
to
so
it
good.
yet. Oh my God.
It's
Okay.
so good. And it's long.
Destiny 2 Forsaken, boo. Far Cry 5, boo. Mega Man 11,
Hey, that's fun.
scooching in there. Good job, Mega Man. Of these, I am the happiest to see Dead Cells and Mega Man 11 just because I think the more non-traditional action games that make the list, the better.
Oh, absolutely.
My vote would be for Mega Man 11 because I've seen plays of it. It looks really, really fun.
Nice.
It makes me want to play Mega Man again. But I think... I don't know. I think maybe Black Ops might get it.
I think Black Ops is going to get it. For action game, I agree. I think it'll get beaten out by Fortnite in multiplayer, but I think it'll take action game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, again, like Dead Cells
It's just too indie.
I think that's what's
Yeah.
killing it here. It's awesome. It's on the list.
I mean, Dead Cells was much awaited by the people
Right.
who wanted to see it. It's just not as mainstream, and I feel like the action game category is so, by its very nature, mainstream.
Right.
I just don't think Dead Cells is going to be able to cut it.
I'm surprised
Why
Far
does
Cry
Destiny
5.
2 keep making these lists?
Well, because they just released the Forsaken expansion, so and they revamped a lot of it, but I'm not enough to win me
yeah,
back.
I'm actually a little surprised Far Cry 5 made it too.
Like, because what is this best action game? Why is Shadow of the Tomb Raider an action adventure and not an action game?
I don't know.
Because for me, that makes
isn't
more sense.
Far Cry 5 even also kind of action adventure?
It is. So it's kind of weird. Maybe we should put it in one, and they just split the difference because they knew it wouldn't make sense for them to
maybe
eat
so.
each be in both, and they would eat each other's vote. I guess I don't know, but that doesn't make sense.
All right, next category. Best VR AR game. Astrobot Rescue Mission. Beat Saber.
God, I want to play Beat Saber
Beat
so
Saber
bad.
does look very fun.
I want to play
looks
so
cool.
fucking bad.
Firewall 0 Hour. From the brief image I'm seeing here, it appears to be a zombie shooter game. Moss.
No, I don't think it is actually. I believe it's actually just a standard military shooter game.
Even worse.
But I heard it was good.
Moss and Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect. We had our good buddy Brandon. He was excited about that one. He
We
was
do.
saying-
So I think of these, I feel like Beat Saber or maybe Tetris Effect. I think one of them is going to get it.
So obviously, still the PSVR is on my wish list. I would love to play this one day. Going off of news and critical reactions that I've seen in Red, I think it's going to be between Astrobot and Tetris Effect.
Oh, okay.
Astrobot, apparently, it was like kind of a sleeping hit. Like nobody really heard that much about it, and it came out, and everybody's like,
And then
"Hold
people
the phones!"
played it and they were like,
"It's amazing."
Oh my God.
So,
I kind of have a subversive objection to Astrobot because he looks a little too much like Math Blaster, the robot.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate Math and Math
Hey, I
Blaster
hate
by
Math too,
extension.
but I liked Math Blaster.
So F you, Math Blaster.
I also like that he's wearing the PSVR.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
just talk about
He's
how
already
cute he
got
is.
electronic eyes. Why does he need it?
All right, moving on then to best mobile game. We got Donut County again.
County.
Florence, Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, and Reigns Game of Thrones.
First of all, haha PUBG, this is the only category you made it into, suckers. I think they're probably going to... I want to see Donut County win here.
That would be cool.
Because I think Donut County is, from what I've seen of the gameplay, it's such a good fit for mobile. It has very simplistic controls, graphics that would come out really well on a small screen, a really nice, chill soundtrack. I think that Donut County should get it, and I really hope it does.
But let's be real with ourselves. It's going to be Fortnite.
Is it, though? Is it, though? Have you played Fortnite on mobile?
I have, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand why people play it on mobile phones.
I don't
it's
think
just
it's
another
gonna get
avenue
it.
to feed
Yeah.
the addiction.
I think that, honestly, I think that Fortnite and PUBG Mobile are both on here as filler because they couldn't find anything better.
Ooh.
Burn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Harsh words.
Anyways.
But so, I mean, I think Fortnite, yes, for what you've talked about and what we've seen of Donut County, I would like to see Donut County
So
on
the
as well.
more I hear of this Florence game, though, I am actually very curious about it. I'd like to do a little more research, see what that's
Maybe
all
give it a
about.
play?
Maybe give it a play.
There we go. There we
On
go.
my telephone.
That's the thing. If I'm going to play a game, I'm not going to pick up my damn phone. I mean, I know you can play these games other places, but still,
man.
I'm not going to pick up my phone to play it. If the only game I actually have, let me look at my phone right now. So the only games I have on my phone right now is I have Clash Royale, which is great for like picking up and playing if you just need that like 3-minute thing to do. I have Star Wars Force Arena, which is basically the same thing as Clash Royale, but it's Star Wars, so I like that. I have the Stranger Things mobile game on it, which is actually kind of fun because it's like 8-bit and looks like an older
really?
like NES, SNES game.
that's a
It's
good
kind of fun.
idea.
And then there's that HQ trivia. But
So
like,
actually,
everybody had
I'm not
played
sure if
HQ
maybe
trivia.
it just wasn't, if the timing was wrong, but Animal Crossing Pocket Camp?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'm actually really curious.
No, that was
now.
earlier this year. That's crazy that didn't get nominated.
That's actually a real bummer.
Interesting.
Because for a mobile game, it's really good.
It's perfect for mobile.
Yeah, huh.
Interesting. Interesting.
wonder-
It must have. I mean, maybe these games are all just that great.
Yeah. Well, actually, so the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp right now is having their anniversary event for 1 year. So maybe it actually made it onto last year's Game Awards.
No, because
I mean, I don't remember them talking about it.
if that were to be true, then we would be seeing Battlefield 5 stuff on here.
True.
It just must not have made the cut.
That sucks because it's really good.
Damn,
oh my God.
that's crazy. I hadn't thought about that, but that is crazy.
That's lame.
All right, best independent game.
The best category.
Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger.
So real quick, because these are indie games, we do just want to give a little bit of additional support to the makers of these. So
Yes.
Celeste is by Matt Makes Games. Dead Cells is by Motion Twin. Into the Breach from Subset Games. Return of the Obra Dinn. First of all, what a great name.
That does sound really
What
cool.
a scary name. By 3909 LLC. And The Messenger by Sabotage Studio. Celeste is going to get it.
I think so.
10 out of 10, Celeste is 100% going to
Seals
get
it.
it.
And I
it
think
probably
because-
deserves it.
Because of the one category I do know, I did see that ahead of time. I think, Celeste is
Yeah,
going to take it.
Celeste is definitely going to get it. And good on them. They deserve it.
Games for Impact. You want to read this one?
1111 Memories Retold. Celeste. Florence again. See? Life is Strange 2 episode
I need to
1.
look up because I feel like I need to see a synopsis of Florence real quick.
Yeah, so
Because
Life
I
is
remember
Strange
hearing
2,
about it when it was coming out. I just don't remember.
It kind of looks like the art from the Madeline books.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, maybe she grew up and changed her name. Anyways, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, and The Missing, J.J. McField and the Island of Memories. So, quick caveat, I do not think that Life is Strange 2, Episode 1 should be on here, period.
Because it's an episode, not a full
Because
game.
It's not the full game. I think that
I
that
agree
is
with that.
horse apples. I think that's bad. I think that's bad form by the Game Awards. I don't think that 1/5 of a game should be up for any nomination. Because ultimately, who knows? So this is the Games for Change category, which means that
Games for Impact.
Which means that in some way they think it has a... So for a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message is what the category is. And we have no idea where Life is Strange 2 is actually going to go in the end.
Right.
And I think that it's stupid to have it on here because it's only part 1. I think that that's really dumb.
So here we go. Little synopsis of the gameplay of Florence from its Wikipedia page. Florence is divided into 20 chapters, each featuring a different...
20?
Yeah, that's a lot. Each featuring a different portion of Florence's life. The chapters are separated into 6 acts, which represent different portions of Florence's growth and change. The game plays out linearly, requiring input from the player in the form of short mini-games, which help mimic or reveal Florence's thoughts and actions. These games include Florence brushing her teeth, Florence following the sound of a cello to find Krish, Krish cleaning his room before Florence visits, and Florence packing up her things when Krish moves in. Oh, a little bit of spoiler.
Oh, my.
Apologies. But apparently this game focuses around the relationship of Florence and her boyfriend, Krish.
Okay. That's an interesting premise.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, Life is Strange Episode 2, we don't know what its main message is going to be yet.
Yeah. And I completely disagree with it. I love it. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think it should be here.
Because its main impact so far that you can tell is dealing with racism, I believe.
Yeah.
Racism and slash nationalism, because there is a lot of that thrown in there because it is very, very much set within the Trump political sphere that we're in.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like that's where it's headed. And racial profiling, things like that nature, that's where it's headed.
But how far off the expectation tracks did the original Life is Strange go for both of us?
Way different.
Way far off from what we were expecting.
I agree. Because it's not a game. It's part 1 of a game.
Exactly. I just think that's absolute BS.
But I think with Celeste, with its focus on mental health and everything and overcoming those challenges, I think that it's that I think we'll take it.
I think it's a contender. I honestly would be a little surprised if it made it for the winner. Just because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of games have kind of breached that same subject in one way or another.
True.
And I feel like for the other categories it's nominated for, it 100% should get indie game. But for Games for Impact, maybe not. I'm not sold on it.
Yeah. Now, if Life is Strange 2 full season was on here.
If Life is Strange was on here, I'd be I don't care that it's 6 years old.
Seriously. All right, here we go. Best performance. Ooh, this is fun.
This is always a category we like.
Brian Deckhart as Connor from Detroit Become Human. Ooh, speaking of, this game is going to be, I already saw already, is going to be part of Target's Black Friday sale. $25.
$25.
I'm going to snatch it up.
That's how I got Persona 5 last year. It was $25 at Target.
I'm going to snatch it up because Detroit is one I was very interested in. Skipped it because of bigger things like God of War and Far Cry 5 at the time, which now I wish I would have got Detroit Become Human as opposed to Far Cry 5. But hindsight is 2020, but still I want to play it, so I'll be snatching that up. Christopher Judge as Kratos, God of War.
I think you actually mean Teal'c from Stargate SG-1. He hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
And that was like 20 years ago.
And
oh my God.
He's awesome.
He's hot.
All right. I can't get over his physical size. The man is a giant.
Massive.
His jawline is so defined.
I feel
it's
like
impressive.
if he actually encountered Kratos, he might win.
He might intimidate Kratos enough.
He might just
scare
the beard right off of him. He's a scary man.
He's a sexy specimen.
He's a sexy, scary man.
All right, here we go. Next we have Melissathant. I hope I say this right.
You want me to try it?
Melissanthi Mahout as Cassandra, Assassin's Creed Origins. That's a good contender too.
So we want to
She's
talk
great.
about, she may not be as giant as Teal'c, but she is just as sexy and scary.
Absolutely. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Boo.
Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man.
Boo.
I got to give it to Christopher Judge.
I think that what I've heard from the voice acting or from the performances overall of Kratos versus Cassandra, I really would like to see Melissanthi Mahout take it because
I would too.
I've heard a lot of the dialogue from gameplay, and I think that she just did an outstanding job.
Again, in the brief snippet, this is the only reason why I'm saying, like, I can't. I've finished the game Christopher Judge is in, and I'm still barely into the game that she's in. I have loved her performance as Cassandra so far, and I'm sure it will only continue to be better. Yeah. But also, Christopher Judge was pretty damn outstanding as Kratos.
And like my heart says Teal'c, but I really want Melissanthi to win. I think that, it's not very common that you get any female actress nominated for this kind of award, and I really just want her to win.
Yeah. I agree. All right, moving on then. This looks to be the last top. No, it's not.
Sucker.
Best audio design presented by Dolby. This category, not the show.
Let's not talk about them. We're not getting sponsored.
Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. Audio design.
I don't know. I have no opinion on this.
That's a toughie for me. The only one in this category I haven't played, ones in this category are Spider-Man and Forza Horizon.
But for Black Ops 4, Didn't you actually mention that you really thought that their sound quality was really good?
I did. I do really enjoy it. It does seem like it's the game, I will say, that has sold me on using headphones every time I play a game.
Yeah, exactly. So say you'll vote for Black Ops.
Yeah, so I think I honestly will. God of War, great. Like, it had the sounds and everything, especially with like the axe and the impact sounds and stuff like that. Great. Red Dead Redemption 2, nothing's really stood out to me that much in that regard. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Black Ops 4.
Well, it was the Wild West. They didn't have as much sound.
That's true. It was in the ancient times. Not as many birds
times.
and things to be around. All right, another great category for us. Why don't you read this one off?
All right, so this one is Best Score and Music, one of our favorite categories to talk about. And actually, it's a stacked competition.
It's a stacked.
So Celeste, a soundtrack by Lena Raine. We actually featured one of her tracks. Yeah. God of War by Bear McCreary. Marvel Spider-Man, John Pisano. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom by Joe Hisashi. Octopath Traveler, Yasunori Nishiki, another one that we featured on the show.
Did.
And Red Dead 2, Woody Jackson and Daniel Lanois.
I got to give it to God of War.
I
Hands
knew you would say
down.
that. And
it is.
Yeah.
I could sing the praises of how. Again, I gotta say how fucking good this soundtrack is.
Obviously, my vote again goes to Celeste. I think that the soundtrack accomplishment of God of War is very impressive, and it sounds obviously beautiful. But for soundtracks that I really like to listen to, I like Celeste's more.
Celeste is good, is better background, like just chill music. I will say, I will agree with you. The bombastic epicness of God of War is what steals it for me.
I also really like that Octopath Traveler did at least make this category.
Great soundtrack.
I don't think that it will win, but the soundtrack is really good.
It's more in line with me, for me, like with Celeste. It's great to just put on in the background. Like I've said, and I'll say it again, like Ashes from the God of War soundtrack, and even the main theme, both great. But Ashes, again, when it hits that crescendo, I get chills every damn time, no matter the volume I'm listening to it. With Woody Jackson did the music also for Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, okay.
Which is a fun soundtrack. It's not one of my favorites. It has some good sounds, like Horseplay from Red Dead Redemption is a pretty good track.
If it's not just horses neighing at each other in sing-song tones, that's 0 out of 10.
But I have already heard, I will say, when the beginning of, and I'm interested to give the full soundtrack a complete listen to Red Dead Redemption 2, but when the game started and the first initial songs came on and everything, it gave me pretty strong vibes of The Last of Us. So I'm on board with it. It's just still not enough to beat God of War.
Well, moving on, Best Art Direction. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, hurrah, and Red Dead 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn.
Interesting.
So I can see, so we're looking at a little image of Return of the Obra Dinn, and if this is what it looks like in real gameplay, that's something.
It's impressive looking art style.
So I will say that in terms of artistic styling, my gut reaction to any game in the vein of Assassin's Creed, God of War, or even Red Dead is, who cares?
It's something we've seen before.
It's something we see all the time. So I would have really liked to see more games that branched outside of the traditional box, which really, I would say I would love to see Octopath Traveler win this one.
Because how do they describe it? It's like 2.5D or something like that?
It's like this weird blend of top-down 2D and also 3D. It's really interesting. What they tried to do with it is fascinating to look at, and once you get used to it, you really like it. But looking at Return of the Obra Dinn, I kind of feel like maybe they deserve it more. I feel like they clearly took a very directed stylistic approach. Like, this was very intentional.
Right.
Whereas games like Red Dead, God of War, and Assassin's Creed, it's like, well, let's make them look as pretty and as normal as possible.
I don't know, though. I slightly disagree with you on that fact with God of War. Because of how much God of War, it deals with mythology. And, mythology gives you a lot of... Well, so does Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
So do the other God of War games.
But still... The difference here, I believe, is since the tonal, which propels God of War in my mind, is the tonal shift and the art style shift that is present in this new God of War as opposed to God of War 3, 2, and 1. It's just, they took it to a new setting of, Norse gods. They gave you a lot of different areas to explore. They gave you all these different enemies. The landscapes and everything are truly beautiful in God of War. I think they did a really great job in their imagining of this of their own take on Norse mythology, I think is really great. So I could see in like their design of the creatures and monsters and just other gods that you come to encounter in the game, I think they did a really good job in. So for me, it's still I would say it's probably going to become, it's a tie for me. I understand the new look and the really authentic look of Octopath Traveler, which I think is why I agree with you in who I vote for. I think God of War for me comes in second, but I still think Red Dead will take every category it's in.
Really?
I just think that's how it's going to
I
go.
don't know. I mean, from what I've seen
This
of
is the one of the
gameplay of Red
least.
Dead, I honestly kind of don't think it's that.
I think this is the one that
Yeah.
it has the least chance of winning, I would say.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of these
This one
games
and soundtrack.
just being again and again on there, it's like, okay, let's move on.
Right.
Best narrative.
This one's going to be a little harder to judge just because we haven't played all of these.
Yeah.
But Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead 2.
Again, I don't think that Life is Strange 2 should even be on this list.
Agreed.
It is not a complete game.
Yep.
I disagree with it from a moral perspective. I think Detroit Become Human is going to take this category.
I actually think that too because of how much it's built around telling the story of giving player choice. Red Dead does that to some extent as well, but I think this one explores, I guess, the butterfly effect basically a little bit better than Red Dead would, and it's built around that as being more of the core mechanic. So I agree. God of War, outstanding story as well, but I think for how Detroit tells its story and its mechanic, I agree.
I mean, in terms
believe
of
Detroit Become
storytelling,
Human.
I just agree. I think Detroit Become Human took a little bit of a different stance,
Mm-hmm.
whereas God of War, from a narrative perspective, it's very traditional for
Right.
video games.
Yes.
You know, you progress through the story in a pretty traditional
Mm-hmm.
way, whereas Detroit takes many different paths.
God of War tells a great story and everything. Detroit Become Human
lets you live the story.
Exactly.
Glad to know we're on the same page.
Best game direction, A Way Out. I'm honestly surprised that one hasn't popped up more because for what it did, the first game that you literally have to play it completely, not the first game, but like you have to play it completely co-op. Like that's a different take, and I'm surprised that it hasn't shown up more. Here, you can finish reading this one out.
Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and again Red Dead 2. I want A Way Out to win it.
Because of how different it is?
Because it took such a different approach. I still think that Detroit Become Human deserves the narrative, but A Way Out, in terms of direction and what they wanted to do with the game, I think they just went fantastically in a different direction than every other game on this list. And I really like what they were trying to accomplish. And I think that for people who have played the game, they would probably say they did accomplish it, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe some people hated it.
My pick's got to go with God of War. Corey
I'm
Barlog
not
coming back. You know, he worked on God of War 2 and a couple of the other God of War games in the past, but him coming back and being able to, with his influences of the past, which I think was a strength in this regard, to be able to avoid being weighed down and just saying, okay, we're going to do the same thing again. Coming and completely reimagining that series.
Kratos has a beard now.
Completely reimagining the character, not reimagining the character of Kratos,
He has a kid now.
but building on his past and having that influence in him and him being a new version of the character. I think it was an incredibly well done. Plus, taking it to the new realm of Norse mythology. Outstandingly done. I got to give it to God of War.
All right, best ongoing game. Destiny 2, Forsaken.
Quit nominating
Boo!
Destiny.
Stop it, everybody. Fortnite, naturally. No Man's Sky.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
That's the reaction I had. I was like, beg pardon? I was just very confused. Overwatch and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. My vote is for Overwatch, just
I think
because
so.
it's the only game on this list that I am still playing.
I'm torn between Fortnite and Overwatch.
I mean, I think Fortnite is going to get it.
I agree.
But I would vote for Overwatch.
I think so too. I think I would
Also,
too.
I will
Because at its
say-
core, I still just love everything about Overwatch. Fortnite for me right now, I'm having fun with it. I haven't played as much of it because of Blackout coming out, but I still feel like it could be one that's more of a passing phase. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of playing that, and I won't come back to it.
Yeah.
Overwatch, even now, we're in its third year
Yeah.
of it being out. I played it today.
Yeah, exactly. I still play it frequently.
Yeah.
So
I gotta go with
even when
Overwatch.
I take brief breaks for a couple of weeks, I still come back to it. All right, and then the big bad
final
category. Last one, everybody. Game of the Year. We have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World.
Look at that.
What is you doing here, baby? And then Red Dead Redemption 2.
So of this, I give my vote to God of War because I think it was a great. Red Dead's going to take it.
I think so.
But can we shout out for a bit that Celeste is on this list? That's incredible.
Freaking kudos to you, Celeste. We haven't really gotten to talk much more about Marvel Spider-Man, but it's been nominated for what, 6 to 7 categories?
It's got a few. The thing is, I'm Spider-Man'd out, so that's why I didn't want to buy it.
I agree. I completely agree.
So that's why I didn't want to get it. I'll get it at some point, I'm sure, because I have heard it's insanely fun. But that's also
says.
All I've heard about it.
Exactly. It's like, well, and honestly, I'm kind of like jazzed to see Monster Hunter World on here.
Right.
But considering how many crushing problems the game has, well, it traps you in the beginning into its forced campaign story mode. There are times when Monster Hunter World is infuriating.
Right.
And they are fixable problems. So I cannot in good faith vote for Monster Hunter World for Game of the Year. I think it's a really fun game. There's a lot I love about it, but there are a lot of things I hate about it.
I think if I played more...
I want Celeste to win. I really hope it does.
It is really cool. That is really cool that it's on the list. I think if I had the opportunity to play more of Assassin's Creed, it would probably come down for me. As it stands right now, I am having fun with Red Dead 2. I
am stunned, for starters, that God of War isn't on this list.
It is. Right
oh my God, sorry. My bad. I even read it off. Sorry.
I'm having fun with Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm not. It's so far for me it has yet to click and really grab me. I'm enjoying it.
I think you just need to sit down tomorrow.
I also have
I'll bring you a piece of pie.
Ooh,
yeah.
That'd be excellent. I would love a piece of pie.
And then you can eat your pie and play Red Dead for what, 7 hours?
I think honestly that's what it needs to say. I have not, and I will say my caveat to this and why I think that my opinion of it right now is slightly in the negative on it, is because I have not had the chance to just sit and play it for hours. I've been only able to play in 1 to 1.5 hour bits. And that's just been due to outside life, like
work.
The
most comparable game I can think of, Breath of the Wild, the minute I played it, I knew it was forever.
But see, so that is how though I've been with God of War.
Maybe it's because your Red Dead guy doesn't wake up in a cave naked. Maybe that's the problem.
I do love to see male nudity.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
I mean, I love it.
Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody does.
Fender's nude all the time.
He is.
Except for his bandanas.
Just covers his neck.
Just covers his neck. Oh, Fender. So cute. Oh,
speaking of male nudity, you gotta watch that.
What?
I want to watch the Outlaw King on Netflix because it's got Chris Pine. It's as Robert the Bruce. He gets out of a lake, apparently. Stark has naked full frontal.
I will be watching that
I will too.
Today.
It did just come out. But I got to give God of War, for all the reasons that I've already talked about it, but for what you were just saying about how you played Breath of the Wild and you knew instantly, that's how it felt with God of War. God of War felt like a return home in a sense, but a fresh breath of air about it.
Actually, I take it back. I really think that God of War is actually going to win this category. I don't think Red Dead is going to take it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think God of War, because of the critical reception from all of the media that I consume, all of the articles, everyone gave God of War perfect scores.
Right.
Virtually across the board.
And see, that's the thing, though. You were talking about Monster Hunter having all of its issues and problems. God of War had none.
I'm just genuinely baffled that Monster Hunter World is even up for Game of the Year. How?
Like Red Dead, again, caveat, I haven't had time to just sit and play for an extended period of time, but I'm also still having a hard time with controls, and I feel like that shouldn't happen. And granted, I still think slightly the issue with Red Dead is it almost gives you too many things to do and too many options, too much immersion there. I feel like there needs to be this nice balance, and it might be slightly more to the laborious side rather than just the simple, don't have to think about it side. Whereas God of War, you had to think about things. You had to do combos and action, but I was able to pick it up and learn it and felt like a god very quickly. And that's what I feel like. And that's just for mechanics. I've talked and I've praised the story enough. I've praised Christopher Judge for his performance as Kratos. I've praised Cory Barlog for his direction. But, so that for me, that's why it's got to go. I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey would stand higher in my mind. Again, had I had more time to play. But I got to give it to God of War.
Bro. All right, so those are the categories. Those are the nominees. We will see how this all pans out in, December?
I believe it's the 7th. Let me see,
Yeah,
since we're sitting here
'cause that's a
looking at
Friday,
it. December
right?
6th
Yeah.
at the Game Awards.
Thursday, okay,
Is it a
whatever.
Thursday?
Yeah, because the 7th is a Friday.
Interesting.
I have my Fridays planned out like for the rest of forever.
Very
I
nice,
always
very nice.
know
Yeah, that
when a
is
Friday
Thursday.
is going to happen.
Man, I wonder if it's going to be like 3 hours long like it was last year.
Probably.
It was long.
Because remember, they keep trying to work in like weird announcements into the Game Awards.
Well, apparently
Did you
it's
see
going to
that
be some...
Michael Phelps is going to be announcing?
I missed that bit of news.
Freaking Michael Phelps is going to be at the Game Awards. It's like, why?
Olympic swimming 2019.
He does not have good stage presence. Have you seen him try to talk?
I have.
He's
It's not great.
terrible.
But yeah, so we will be watching the Game Awards and probably live tweeting some bits of it. I will be at least. More reactions. I'm going to try to tone it down. I realize the last few years I've tried too much. It's like that's not my job to like give the results.
Yeah, it's not.
I just need to tweet funny quips.
You just
and
need
that's
to be
what I'm
like,
good at.
bruh, Michael Phelps, shut up.
But so it is on December 6th, and you can watch it just about anywhere, I believe. So, not on like normal
We'll be
broadcast
watching
TV, but
on
you can watch it on
YouTube.
YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Go watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Twitch. I don't want to give
I'll watch
YouTube
it
my
on
dollars.
YouTube. I'll watch it on Twitch. But yeah. So that is our picks for the Game Awards 2018. Obviously, we would love to know what you think what games will be picked for all these different categories, especially Game of the Year. So let us know by sending us a message on across social media, our Discord, in the comments below. Lots of different options. We'd love to hear from you. But with that, we do have to do our soundtrack spotlight before we go. And I think for this one, we're going to do the main theme from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Haven't featured any music from this game yet, as is my standard with games of this like this that I've been super invested in. I don't listen to the soundtrack till after completing because I want to be able to experience the music in the game and experience it separately outside of the game as two different experiences. But I have heard the main theme because main theme plays in the game. Main theme plays.
That's as far as Jerrett has gotten everybody into
gotten farther than the main theme because you hear it when you load up the game and it's sitting on the menu screen. But this composer of Assassin's Creed Odyssey is The Flight, who also has worked on past games such as Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
love them to bits. They're great musicians and composers. So they are the composer for this one. The song is called Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Hold on.
I hope there's
There
a
it is.
song somewhere.
Legend of the Eagle Bearer.
Oh.
I must say, I was sitting in a Starbucks doing some work. One of the few times I leave home to edit.
Sure.
And I was doing some work, and came across my feeds. Hey, The Flight just released the title track for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I went and listened to it. I wanted to scream with joy with how good it was.
Like an eagle screeching in the
Screeching.
sky. That's not the noise that eagles make.
It's the sound. It's like
That's a crow noise.
It's like from what is it? No, not Assassin's Creed. Arrested Development, where they're like, "Stop being such a chicken, Michael." And they go like, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." Have you not seen that?
No.
Oh, have you not seen Arrested Development?
No.
Oh, it's so good. But anyway, it's a great track. It's a great song from the game Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Flight of the Eagle Bearer by The Flight. So that will play after the close of the episode, which is now. Until next time, everyone, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
Sayonara.
We'll see you all next week for another episode of Team Chat Podcast. Until then, listen to the song.